Bills fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Get out the Bills! It's not outside! It's not outside! Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Want me now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition, they say we trippin'. They better get out our way. Top of the table, we flippin'. We on a mission, got an unstoppable team. Continue to follow your dream, by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo.
That's a long one. Shit. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Little 2K, standing in right now. Waiting on my co-host, Beyond 716 to arrive. We are going to talk briefly about some of the things that have happened in training camp, or not training camp, but OTA so far. Um, so here we are, guys. We're right around the corner to another NFL season. And this one is unlike any other before. Josh Allen is married, uh, happy. Um, so he's married to his best friend. Well, that's great. Not that I don't believe that, but I just think it's just like something to say, I guess. But he's at camp. Everybody's there. Um, everybody's participating, which is everybody that can participate is participating. We can get started right away with running back James Cook showed up. Unlike many other players looking for a new contract, um, James Cook was at mandatories. He has been participating. Um, he's doing and saying all the right things, guys. I still don't think he gets him $15 million, but I'd be lying if I said that this team was better off without James Cook. It's not. James Cook is an excellent player. Offense is way more explosive with him than it is without him. And I think, if we're going to make this push for a Super Bowl, we got to do it with all hands on deck. And speaking of all hands on deck, Beyond 716. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Sorry, a little bit late tonight. California traffic. Are you
Oh,
surprised?
yeah.
No.
No.
So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, so far so good, man. Everything good though, because they got a lot of stuff going on in California right now.
There is. I almost got caught in the 101 shutdown. Made it by about an
Oh
hour the
wow.
other day.
Hmm.
Before kind of got closed off a little bit. So yeah, it's just, it's one of those things. You just got to take care of your neighbors and take care of your loved ones and the people that you care about. And that's really what we can control, right? That's what I'll tell anybody around the country about any of these things, right? Is
That's it.
that's number one. We look out for each other, Whittle. We spoke about this a lot. And I speak for everyone here that listens to our pod, just having everybody's back. And that's more than half the battle. So, but good. Thank you for asking, though. I appreciate it, Will.
What's up, Carlos? What's up, Uncle Jay?
Carlos, Uncle Jay.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is not going to be a long episode for a number of reasons. Number one,
Okay.
I have to go to work tomorrow, very
Okay.
early.
Oh
Number
boy.
two, the NBA Finals game is on, and
What?
number
Wait, wait,
three,
wait. What? Wait, what was that? NBA Finals? I thought
here
there
we
was a.
go.
I thought it was
Here we
over.
go.
Well, I
Oh no, 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 no,
I'll tell
no.
you what. We needed to screen capture your reaction when Kevin Massari last week said Tibbs, because you went to an immediate grin so fast, and I knew
Absolutely,
you were waiting for that all show. Yeah,
of
but.
course.
Yeah, so it should be, listen, should be an interesting series. What do you think, Whittle? You have any thoughts on, you think the Pacers have a shot, or you feel like
No,
OKC takes command tonight? No?
I don't think the Pacers have a shot. I think this
Good.
is done in six at the most. It's probably
Good.
five for OKC.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's just OKC is too good of a team. Um,
Yeah.
the only team I think, and this is not because I'm a Celtics fan, but a
Hmm.
fully healthy Celtics team against OKC is the series that would have probably
Fair.
been the most competitive. But
Yeah, I
I
think the
mean,
Knicks would have had a puncher shot, but I say that loosely. You know what I mean? I kind of agree with you on that, though. I
yeah.
would
So
say OKC's been the
I
best
mean,
all year.
I'll say this: you guys would have been able to utilize Cat in the paint. Like if you thought Cat was getting off against everybody else, geez,
Yeah.
man, he would have ate. He would have eaten this series for sure.
Yeah, would have been interesting, but we didn't fare too well against OKC this past season, so that, if that tells us anything, but we'll see. We'll
He
see
didn't
how
fare too
that
well against
transpires.
any really winning teams, but for whatever reason, you guys managed to take care of business when it mattered the most. So
As long as Indiana stays ringless, Whittle, I'm good. That's where I'm at this point, right? If
I
I'm gonna be
want them to win.
miserable,
I just
they're gonna
don't
be
think they
miserable.
will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Tina gets a gold star. Young gents. Wow. I feel younger already. Thank you, Tina. So, if only she really knew how old I was. So anyway, so hello to you, Tina.
she
Welcome.
does.
Yeah,
She does.
that's the scary part. Yeah.
um. All right.
Uh,
OTAs are underway, and I mean, let's just
mhm,
take a real quick walk. I mean, so the signs of I think these are some signs of a good organization. Everybody's
mhm,
there. Everybody shows up when it's mandatory, even if they're not participating. Everybody still shows up. That to me is a sign of a good organization, or at least
mhm.
an organization that has the right people in it.
Yes,
And not just the coaches, but the players as well. Here we go, starting early.
that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. We got you, Whittle. It's all good.
No, I'm gonna. But I have a Celsius. I'm gonna knock back real quick because I
You
want.
got it. But you don't want to stay
Yeah.
up all night either. That's the other thing too, Whittle. We
Oh,
don't
I
want you up
won't.
at
Don't worry
4.
about that.
I don't I
Yeah, I
don't want
won't.
I don't want to be up at 11:30 at night tonight, my time. I'd see a Twitter space going to Whittle's front and center in there. Can't sleep. So
You
that's
won't see
that's what I'm
that.
trying to
Trust me.
avoid.
I'm going to bed tonight, bro.
Okay.
I'm going to
All
bed.
right,
I'm
good.
tired. Yes. It's
Yeah.
been a long day.
Yeah. Whittle's serenading
Yeah.
us on this middle of June here, folks.
All
Love it.
right, but yeah, all right, quick, real quick around the league, man. You have some holdouts. TJ
Hmm.
Watt is holding out. Terry McLaurin,
Hmm.
wide receiver for the Washington Commanders, is holding out. And like all of the Cincinnati Bengals on defense are holding out pretty much. No, they're missing they're missing their first round pick. Actually, I think it's more. I think they have two rookies that are holding out for that contract situation. But the one that's
Hmm.
talked about the most is Shamar Stewart. And Trey Hendrickson is still holding out.
Hmm.
Um, so, and just so we're clear, the Shamar Stewart holdout is not about money. It's about an injury. It's about some contractual language as far as guarantees are concerned
Hmm.
for just in case he gets hurt or something like that.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to miss out or
but I'll tell you,
have money taken out of his pockets, right? Just in
I'll tell you what,
case
Whittle.
he
But
were to get injured.
that comment he made at the last comment he said about the organization. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wow moment. It speaks volumes. And if I'm a Bengals fan, I my radar is up right now. I have
Yeah.
concerns.
He's not
That's
staying past the 5th year. Like if you get the 5th year
no.
option on him, cool. But he's out
Hmm.
of there, I'm sure. I mean, well, it's 4. It's 4 years. That's a lot of time. A lot can happen over those years. Like things can change for the better, and the
Absolutely.
relationship can be repaired and cool. But
Hmm.
right now, it does not look good at all. So
Absolutely not.
in Buffalo Bills news, the Bills go out. Oh, well, before we get to that, long time linebacker, not long time, but linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals, uh, Jermaine Pratt was released the other
Mm.
day. And if you're a Bills fan, you've been watching the Bills for a while. You know we've had some really epic matchups with the Cincinnati Bengals, and one of the stalwarts on that team, one of the defensive playmakers for that team, has been Jermaine Pratt. Jermaine Pratt. Um, always around the football, always punching the ball out, always doing a
Hmm.
whole bunch of stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm just like I looked at that and I said to myself, listen, Buffalo needs to go and grab this guy. Um, not just because of what he can do on the field, but because of his ability to give insight to the young guys that we have at linebacker. So you got Edifying Ulofoshio, you have Joe Andreessen, you have Dorian Williams. Like these guys are still young. Even Baylor Spector, who yes, we don't expect to make the team, but having a guy like Jermaine Pratt, who's always around the football, always seems to make the right play. Having him
Hmm.
there, I think would have been an excellent, excellent, excellent um, backup plan for if Milano were to go down. Oh. All right, I'm gonna pause for a second and I'm gonna grab my
It's okay.
Celtics right now because I'm not gonna continue to do this to you guys. I'll be right back.
Whittle, no problem at all. So as Whittle takes a break to re-energize, so I'm going to go through a couple comments here. So, Dave, I just want to give you a shout out. Always great to see you here. Uh, so I've been able to keep up what's going on. Hey, it's June, right? Middle of the off season. We always love having you here as well, David. So, and I agree with you. Can never have enough linebacker depth as well. We'll get into also the signing of Shaq Thompson, and I will wait for Whittle. I'd like to get more of his insight on that. And I want to circle back to Tina's comment here about Maxwell Hairston today. And from what I heard about Maxwell Hairston, it looks like he's getting evaluated. He's testing the function and strength of his left knee, and severity remains unknown. No official updates that I'm seeing at this point. We'll bounce that off Whittle right now. He was on the sidelines with helmet off, so he did not. That would tell you he may not need any further treatment. So hopefully that's a good sign. And maybe it's just like we had Kevin Massari on last week, and he talked a lot about how the Buffalo Bills are very cautious when it comes to injuries, especially this time of year. So I'm hoping that in this case of Whittle, I was just talking about Tina's question about Maxwell Hairston. It didn't appear to be a severe issue. I didn't see any timetable we're using, and the drink has been awakened. So Whittle is now recharging, ladies and gentlemen. Whittle 2.0 is being activated shortly here. So,
Yeah. No, nothing on Harrison. I mean, everything's like you know with the Bills, they're very, very, very
mhm,
they're very cautious in the off season with injuries. So they're gonna err on the side of caution and not play
mhm,
him.
yep,
Um, if he's back at practice tomorrow, great. If not, then. Obviously, that's something else that we have to monitor. But for the most part, the guy I think Bishop, Hamlin, both of those guys are out. Um, Sharon Johnson, I think, is still in a non-contact jersey.
Hmm. I believe so. That is correct. And one little update about that linebacker, the aforementioned Pratt. Looks like he signed
Oh
with the
yeah,
Raiders.
yeah,
So I didn't even know. Was that just recent? I didn't see
yeah.
that.
That was earlier today. I
Okay,
thought he was going to go
gotcha.
to the Colts, and
Yeah.
but it's clear he still wants to play. He still wants to play. So
Hmm.
um, I like it. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a good move for them. They need
Yeah.
linebacker depth. They lost a bunch
Hmm.
of linebackers, so
Hmm.
yeah, they lost Spillman, I think it was,
Hmm.
to the Patriots, and then Divine Diablo went somewhere else. I can't remember. I think he might be with the Commanders. But yeah,
Okay.
like he's gonna walk in there, he's gonna start immediately. That's great for him.
Hmm.
Um, it's also great for us because guess who the Raiders play twice a year?
Hmm.
And he always shows up against the Chiefs. So
Hmm.
that's good for us. That's another uh, wrinkle to their division, their road to a division title and a playoff berth. Um, the Raiders got better with that signing, so
Yep.
kudos for them. Um,
I'll tell you what, Whittle, the AFC West, I listen, until Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes retire, or as long as they have them and Spagnolo and they have Chris Jones, they're the favorites, right? Let's not get anything twisted here, folks, right?
right.
You'll hear people say Denver, but Denver, the Chargers, and even the Raiders, they all have some intrigue this year, right? Especially Denver. Curious on what they're going to do. That's going to be a very interesting division. I think it's going to be a lot tighter than what the Chiefs are used to, and we'll get to maybe that in August, but just something I've been thinking about in terms of the moves that they've been making.
Yeah, the Chargers are a lot better. The Broncos are a heck of a lot better.
Hmm.
I'm really interested to see how they look
Hmm.
going forward this year. I think the Broncos are. I think they're a complete team. I don't see a hole. They have the best offensive line, the best defensive line in football. Um, well, I'm not going to say the best defensive line, but the offensive line's the best in football. The defensive
Hmm.
line, definitely one of the best. I think they led the NFL in sacks last year,
Hmm.
and they even added to that line with this
Hmm.
offseason. They added a couple other guys, so
Yep.
um, they were good at linebacker. They were really good at
Hmm.
corner already. They added another corner
Hmm.
and Jade Barron, who will slide right into the slot. Safety play has been good for them as well. So they're really a complete team.
Hmm.
You add Pat Bryant on the offensive side to give you another possession style receiver.
Hmm.
The guy
Yep.
reminds me a lot of Gabe Davis, to
Hmm.
be honest. Just better hands. He's a much better route runner.
Hmm.
But same style of player. I like him a lot, Pat Bryant. So Denver looks really, really good. But um, hello, friend. I noticed you're new to streaming. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
all right. Okay. Okay, Piola. All right. Well, talk to the bosses about that. We don't know what
Yep.
this is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. We appreciate it. You coming
yeah,
on.
but thanks for tuning in, though.
Yeah. Thanks
Just let
to
us know in
get
the
your
chat what's your favorite football team.
yeah. Give us your opinions on the Shaq Thompson signing. I mean, while we're at it, right? So, so
Yes,
right.
that's how I wanted to go with it. I was gonna go from,
Mhm. Perfect
we
segue
didn't
from
actually
Piolo.
get Jermaine Pratt, but
Hmm.
we ended up picking up Shaq Thompson, um, linebacker. I think he's 31.
Hmm.
Linebacker, he's from I played with Carolina. Brandon
Yep.
Bean drafted him, played 1 year under McDermott, and
Hmm.
then McDermott took the job as the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. But the Buffalo pipeline continues to to still run. They turned that knob and Madison another player. I originally I was a little bummed out about not being able to get Jermaine Pratt. And who
Hmm.
knows, maybe they did reach out. He just wants to go somewhere where he can start. Cool.
Yeah.
But a guy like Shaq Thompson, I think that's a really good option to back up like Milano. Like he's more of
Hmm.
that weak side guy, which doesn't fare well for a guy like Dorian Williams. I think Shaq Thompson is much better in coverage. He's probably not the athlete that Dorian Williams is now, but
Hmm.
definitely in coverage. Like he's a lot better. And,
Yep.
and that was the biggest problem last year was coverage.
Yep. Yeah, he kind of fits what the a Billsy player is, right? Whittle, he's versatile. He's got a strong football IQ. He's tough. I like that McDermott said, he brings some nastiness and toughness. Those are the things that I think we've always been wanting to add to this Buffalo Bills defense, right? And it's something I know you have spoke of quite a bit over the years. So it's just good to see that desire to continuously improve that side of the ball in that respect. And he's a good backup, right? He's 31 years old. He's savvy veteran. He's a great tackler. I just see this as a no brainer for me. It's a no risk, very solid reward kind of payoff.
Yeah. Um, Worst case, like I don't even think this is a bad situation. I don't expect him to come in and immediately take snaps away from guys, but having a guy like that on the roster helps because that's it's another coach on the field that it's another coach that can sit there and kind of walk these guys through what they need to be doing.
Hmm.
It's a great voice to have around practice. There's not going to be a huge learning curve because you know he played for Sean McDermott, so he kind of understands what McDermott is looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's huh. Oh, okay, Steve. Did you see this comment? No, we got a comment from Steve. The addition of Ryan Nielsen is going to end up being very similar to Cromer. The guy is a defensive scientist. Listen,
Mm.
if we get from the defensive line what we've gotten from the offensive line, this team is going to win the Super Bowl, and it's going to win a couple of Super Bowls
Hmm.
because that offensive line, literally in one season, went from a bottom 20 unit to a top 5 unit. Like we hire Cromer. It takes him about a year to instill what he's instilled. To coach up the guys and get a couple more guys in there that he wants. And then the following season, the Bills had an elite level offensive line. They didn't get the credit for it until last year, but
Hmm.
2023 that offensive line was really good.
Yep,
They just didn't get the credit until last season.
absolutely. And Nielsen really has. I mean, he's got some track record, right? I mean, he
Yep.
really turned around the Atlanta Falcons, made them a formidable unit in 23. He,
Yep.
the Saints
The
as
New Orleans
well
Saints. Yep.
did a
Yep.
really good job. They were usually one of the higher. I think they were top three, top four in sacks for a couple of
Yep.
years as well. So
Yep.
that's he's just got a great pedigree, and that's that's an excellent uh, comment by Steve. Right, it's probably a very underrated part of it. It kind of like when we first got Cromer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that didn't become a talking point the last year. So it'll just be interesting to see what he could do even this year for
Indiana's
my
up
team.
3. Wow.
Really? Was it 3-0? No, I'm kidding. That
No,
was a
yeah,
joke.
no. Like, yeah, this is crazy. Indiana was just down 11.
That's the thing
You look
about
up.
basketball.
Yeah.
You remember in our day, right? We're older, right? You were down 10 in the fourth. It's pretty much lights out, right? Now it's unbelievable that just how no lead is really safe, right? Especially with the three
Right.
pointers and how fast Indiana can score. That's the one thing. I'll give Indiana this. Rick Carlisle's a very underrated coach. I mean, the guy's done a really great job. I mean, he took Dallas to a championship. He took Detroit to the precipice of it. And now he's got Indiana in this position. So
Yeah,
Sadie stinks,
well,
Whittle. It does, but it
the
is what it
game
is.
is less. The
Mhm.
game now is less physical.
Yeah.
Refs don't swallow their whistle until the playoffs. Um, and how many like defense has the level of defense being played throughout the regular season throughout these games definitely regressed.
Yep.
But the 3-point shooting, the ability of more guys on on the floor to knock down the 3-point shot consistently I mean, it's at an all time
Hmm.
high. So, I mean, the
Yep.
scoring's up, the defense is down. No lead is
Hmm.
really safe. You got to be up 25 with, 5 minutes to go, and then you can kind of start relaxing. Maybe,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah. Maybe being very, very loose. So our
right.
friend Carlos had a question to circle back to the Bills. Who's getting the next extension, Whittle? And
Uh,
is it
Probably Connor McGovern,
Connor McGovern?
I would think. Yeah. I just look
So,
at it like the guy that they brought in, Lunt,
hmm
shorter arms. He's a tall guy. So I think they want to continue to have a swing tackle, and they don't want to necessarily pay a guy to continue to be that. So uh, I think Lunt is going to end up being the next swing tackle for the Buffalo Bills. Uh, and I think Tyler Grable ends up being the starter at left guard next year. And a guy like Vander Mark ends up moving on or being moved in the offseason. Um, but I do think McGovern is a guy that they're gonna end up
hmm
paying, and it
Right.
would make sense to kind of do it now because last year Deion Dawkins got a second team All Pro. The Buffalo Bills. I mean, if there aren't major injuries, the Buffalo Bills are gonna have 1,000-yard rusher again in James Cook. Josh Allen's gonna rush for he's gonna rush for 400 to 500 yards. Ray
hmm
Davis is probably gonna rush for about 500 yards, maybe 600 yards this year. He ran for 442 last year, so I expect his numbers to go up a bit. Todd Johnson's gonna have a good year, and Josh is one of the guys that's tough. He's one of the toughest players to sack on a consistent basis, and it's been that way for years now. um, I think Dion's going to end up getting a first team All Pro if they play to the level they played at over the last couple of years. I would think Spencer Brown might start getting some looks um,
hmm
at a second team All Pro, and then a guy like McGovern, who's rated as one of the higher centers in the league. You see Frank Ragnow just retired, so that's another
hmm
center that's off the board that
Yep.
qualifies for that position. So you got guys like Grant Bradbury, you got um, Creed Humphrey, you got Tyler Linderbaum, and Tyler Linderbaum is not play. He did not have a great year last year. He was solid, but he wasn't as good as he's been. Um,
Typically, yeah.
there's a few others. I mean, Cam Jurgens is probably going to get some looks. The guy from the Eagles. I think who's the center in Denver? I think it's Lindstrom or something like that. I can't
I
remember. But there's a
believe
bunch
so.
of guys like there's some guys that are not commonly all pro caliber award winners. So
Hmm
I think that second team all pro is wide open. Like Creed Humphrey's probably going to get first team All Pro at center,
hmm
um, unless he has like a terrible year. But that
hmm
that other one, that second team, Connor McGovern has a shot. So pay
Yeah.
him now,
Yeah.
get it out the way, because once he gets that
It's
All
good.
Pro, you're not going to get him for 12. You're not going to get him for 14. It's going to cost more. So
Yep.
pay him now, get it
Absolutely.
out the way, do the best we can to keep this line intact.
Absolutely. And then we also have David Edwards in a contract here as well. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there, see what the Bills do with him, because then you got to start thinking even further out.
Yeah.
in terms of some other offensive linemen. I mean, Dion's only signed through 26, so it's going to be interesting to
Can't
see
pay
what the Bills do on
everybody.
that side of the ball. No, you can't. You're going to lose somebody,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Then Osiris
I
Torrance, that's a
mean,
whole nother story. So,
right.
hmm
So, if we're looking really down the line, like if we're really trying to be forward focused, uh,
hmm
maybe you don't pay McGovern. You drafted um
hmm
hey, what's up, Matt? You drafted Cedric Van
so Matt,
Granger.
hmm
Like let's get him out here. Let's get him to play, let's get him on the field. And
hmm
then what money you were gonna use to extend McGovern, you just pay Edwards, you keep Edwards around, and then you
yeah,
sign Torrance. So I don't know. I mean,
that's going to be
it's
very, very interesting this next offseason, the offensive line shot. Even I think it's even more intriguing than James Cook at this point.
yeah.
So that's going to be. And as far as James Cook goes, I if again just the you had to ask me now to handicap it, I would say James Cook will be elsewhere this time next year. Don't know how you feel about it, Whittle, but I would be very surprised if he comes back to Buffalo next year.
I would as well. He's saying and doing all the right things right now, but
Yes, he is.
again,
To his
you
credit, he's
know,
done a good job. Yep, he's made the right moves here after some interesting ones in the offseason. He's definitely done a nice job of,
yeah.
I don't even want to call it so much damage control. I mean, it's not like he did incredible damage to himself, but he's just reined it in now, and he's got himself on a better path now.
I mean, you got to think about it. There going to be other guys that are available.
hmm
Um, from his draft class, both guys. I mean, there's the kid from Michigan State that Seattle drafted. He barely plays because I mean, obviously he gets injured a lot. Can't remember his name, but uh,
Was that recent
I'm
just this
pretty.
year, or did they?
No. This was the 2022 season, the draft when they drafted not 2022 it was 22 the 2022 draft, James Cook's
They took
draft.
Walker,
Yeah. Kenneth Walker.
Walker.
I think it's Kenneth Walker the third. So
Correct.
he'll be available. Rashad White will be available. The guy Tampa Bay drafted. Brees Hall may be available.
That's
Um,
true.
No, Charbonnet was like the year after. They
He was a
drafted
23.
Charbonnet the
Yeah,
year
he was a
after.
23
Yeah,
guy. That's correct.
yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, there's a number of running backs. Pierre Strong. I think I don't even know where Pierre Strong is right now, but I mean, there's a bunch of running backs from that draft that are going to be available. So wow, we are going global now.
Yeah, if I'm not going to put that other comment on the screen, but you know what I'm talking about, Little. Go up just a little bit further. So anyway,
Okay.
so I just want to
Um,
say hello to Thomas. What's up, Thomas? Welcome.
what's up, man? What's going on, brother? Uh, so yeah, I don't know, man. Paying $15 million to a guy that's going to play around 50% of the snaps, you can't depend on him to pass protect on third down. Like for me, as
hmm
an offensive coordinator or GM, um, I'm looking at James Cook and saying, when I have you in the game on third down, or when I have you in the game and we're in shotgun, it's
hmm
very, very likely that you're either going to be the receiver or you're going to get the handoff because you're not a pass protector. So play action really like kind of works there, but it's difficult for us to just drop back and kind of get you to chip and then release
Yep.
and get you on a mismatch with a linebacker. Maybe he improves that. Maybe this year he does look better at it, but that's where it is.
Absolutely.
It's a scheme giveaway. And Ty Johnson's been so good. Um, I don't know, man. Like Ray Davis, like, he's fine. Like I know we're a tad worried about Ray Davis's like he's not the athlete that Cook is, right?
No.
He's
No.
not the explosive, house call that James Cook is. But I mean, he's good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we don't score 30. Okay, we don't score 30 again. What are we scoring 30, 27? I'll take it. If we're scoring 27 and we have a good defense, like Thomas said earlier, man, look. Ryan Nielsen's going to have the effect that Chroma had. If Thomas is right, we can score 27 because the defense is going to hold everybody to under 20, and we're going to blow teams out all year. So I'm good with that. That's fine. But,
Hmm.
just like there's a cap that has to be managed, and it's got to be managed, not just for this year or next year, but years down the line. And like Bean said, when he took the job, he said, "Bro, I don't want to build a team that's good one time." Well, every time somebody says something like, "Oh, you think you guys are going to go all in?" Yeah, we're going to go all in every year, but he doesn't want to build
Hmm.
a team that's only good in that all in year. He wants to be good every year.
Yep,
So that's where we're
absolutely.
at.
Absolutely. Well, Whittle, we're about halfway in. How about the Bills fans pay the bills really quick, and then we'll come back for part two of the Coast to Coast podcast. Just give us just one quick.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
And we are back for part two, Whittle. And we just had a comment here from Steve. I figured I'd share this with you because I'd be interested to see what you have to say about Cook issues with Dawson Knox. And Knox worth $10 million. Cook makes no plays. I think I know where you're going, but I wanted to get your comment on that.
Okay. See, this Steve kind of reminds me of the McDermott conversation that we have consistently in Bill's Mafia. When Dawson Knox was signed to the deal that he's currently under, it was after a season where he had like 10 or 11 touchdowns, 40 something receptions, and like 6 or 700 yards, man. Like he was on the cusp of being one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Have we not? And I don't know that we needed to sign him to that contract. Did we overpay a bit? Yes, I believe we did. However, if you go back to what was that, 2022, I think it was. He had that year,
Hmm.
the 2021 season. In 2022, um, if you go back to 22, like there were a number of tight end needy teams. Dallas needed a tight end. Um, the Jags needed a tight end. The Colts needed, like there were a bunch of teams who were tight end needy, and we wanted to keep Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox, still to this day, like I don't fully understand the Dalton Kincaid pickup because I thought that Knox was a nice complement to what we already had. You need a guy that can win downfield and be a matchup, a mismatch. That was Dawson Knox. I thought Dawson Knox was very good at that, but I
Hmm.
think it's a combination of injuries and um, just not really just not really being a consistent catcher of the football. Hey,
Do you see that?
yes, the
Yeah.
wife made a
A little
appearance. We appreciate it.
little boba run there. Just hit me up
I,
with a
I
nice
like
little
that.
boba. So yeah, why not? Right? You gotta love it. So
That's it, man.
Whittle's like, where's my boba? No.
I don't get
I could
one, man. I'm
ship.
stuck
Well, you
with
got
this
your energy.
Celsius.
Yep, yep,
Listen,
yep.
raspberry peach though, like if you're into Celsius drinks, raspberry
Mhm.
peach,
That's the one.
it's the
Okay.
bomb.com, man. I'm telling you.
Noted.
You can't go wrong with that one. Can't go wrong. But
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't mind the Dawson Knox contract because at the time it made sense. Is it
Hmm.
grossly does it look like a gross overpayment now? Absolutely. Why? Because we stopped using him. Right? We
Yep.
stopped using him. We started using Dalton Kincaid versus continuing to use the guy that we overpaid for. I think,
Yep.
give Dawson Knox an opportunity in the offense and he'll produce.
Hmm.
We don't, so he doesn't. So,
Yep. And the other nice thing I
uh,
could see, I feel like Dawson Knox feels like to me he's the kind of guy that would say, "Hey, if you need to rework my contract, so be it." Like I feel like
absolutely, yeah.
he'll do the things. And there's a lot of guys on the team that would do this. It's like Dawson's very close with Josh, right? And the things that he brings to Bills both on and off the field, I think make it lessens the amount of I look at the contract as a egregious or a albatross, right? Again, is it too much? Yes. But he brings a lot of intangibles. Like if we ever lose Kincaid for 6 to 8 weeks, we have 100% confidence that Dawson Knox would step in seamlessly and be an excellent
You know
number
how
one
I
tight
feel,
end.
man. I feel like he should be starting. I
Yeah.
feel like Kincaid needs to be the,
Hmm.
plug-in guy in different
Hmm.
packages. But I mean, it's never gonna be that because he took him in the first round.
Hmm.
I didn't like it.
Absolutely.
I didn't understand the pick. Still don't understand the pick. Still don't like the pick.
Hmm.
I mean, he's here though, so it is kind
Yeah.
of
I
is what
mean,
it is.
yeah. Well, again, it's a big. I just really wonder if he's really going to. I think people are waiting for that explosion from Galton Kincaid. I mean, he should improve this year. I agree. And like Matt said, and Tina said, one of the best and most trusted tight end blockers in the league, and that's big. He
Yeah,
does more than catch, and that's the thing. I mean, there's more to. Listen, we're a lot of us are fans of Madden, and a lot of us like to build teams, all offense, offense, offense. We play fantasy football, but we got to remember with the tight end position, there's so many more things that go into it. I would rather have a Dawson Knox tight end personally than what we're getting out of Kincaid right now. I mean, if I had to choose one or the other, it's a no-brainer for me.
I'm not gonna lie. When I play Madden, Dawson Knox is my starting tight end. Like
Nice. You don't
I
even put
told,
Kincaid out there?
listen,
No?
Kincaid is tight end too. I run
Yeah.
to Dawson Knox. Okay,
There you
when I
go.
run the
Yeah.
football, I run to Dawson Knox's side
There you
because
go.
he's better. No, well,
Got it. There's your scatter report with playing Whittle and Madden, folks. Nothing's
and
gonna
he's
work
faster.
because yep.
So, I mean,
Yeah, he
that
is.
tight end corner route, don't play man to man. All right, we're
Uh,
throwing that corner route to Dawson Knox. I promise you, we are. But
Absolutely.
anyway, so mini camp. There's been some, I mean, so I don't know. Have you seen any of the videos? Um, the Whittle and Madden 25. I put Kincaid in the slot. Really,
Uh, oh, there you go. Patrick comes
I
out.
gotta try
And don't
that, man. I
yep.
feel like that would help the run game a lot. I feel like it
And
would. I like
Whittle
running 12. I run
yep.
12. I run a lot of 12 in Madden. Honestly, I do. I
Wh-
run a lot of
Yep.
12 personnel in Madden. So,
I want to give
yeah.
Patrick a plug. Friday Night Lights here on the Do Champions Network. Join him. He does play Madden, some other games, some e-gaming, so it's pretty great stuff. So
Yeah.
definitely tune in for
Listen,
that. So
and I
we have to
played
get that
Patrick
grudge
in Madden
match.
before, man.
Yes.
He kicked my butt, man. Oh, we got
Well,
another.
here, yeah,
We are
we may
very
go a long
popular
line, Whittle.
with the
Yeah,
bots on kick. Yeah, we're very popular today.
yeah, kick it in gear, right? So now you were
Yeah.
talking. Were you talking about OTAs this week? Have I seen any videos
Yeah. Have
or
you seen any of the videos, anything from OTAs?
a little bit? Yeah, I was reading more about some of the performances that we've had in terms of guys that are standing out.
Mhm.
I've heard about Keon Coleman has made a very strong impression. Uh, he made an amazing catch in day one, right? From what I understand. And there have been some other guys. Elijah Moore is really impressing right now, Whittle. His ability to catch, and just some downfield connection. So it's just great to see and to hear things from some of these guys in the wide receiver room. And even we're hearing some good things from Joshua Palmer as well, from my understanding as well. So it's
Yeah.
great to hear these guys are trending up and they're working together already. And it's good to see him back too, considering we heard he was in maybe a little nicked up a couple weeks ago. So how about you, Whittle? What are your first impressions and some
Yeah.
notables?
Yeah. Well, Patrick's got one. In the chat. Folks,
Hmm.
I don't know that. that Maxwell Harrison starts week 1. I don't know that he does. And I don't know that Javon Solomon makes his team because Landon Jackson is a big man. He's a big man. But Deion Walker's bigger. It's like like these guys are huge. Then you
Yeah.
add in Rousseau and Epinesa, and that is a monstrous that's 4 monster sized guys. They make Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones look small. Daquan is 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", like 315, 320 pounds. Those guys look small in comparison to these young edge guys that we have. Um, the underestimating of Elijah Moore is disgusting. Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
I wanted to bring this up too, Tina. Let me just get through the defense really quickly. Um, so Cole Bishop and DeMar Hamlin are both not practicing because of injuries. And
Hmm.
while some Bills fans might be alarmed behind that, I'm not because number one, it's not even training camp yet. And I think the guy that needed to see the most reps was Derek Foster. And he's getting
Hmm.
that opportunity right now. So um, iron sharpens iron. He's going to get the opportunity to play next to uh, Taron Johnson and Benford and Harrison, Trey White
Hmm.
and Rapp and those guys. He's going to be with the ones. He's going to get a lot of valuable snaps. Yes, he's going to play special teams, but in the event that somebody goes down, you can slide him in because he's going to have that battle rhythm already built up from these reps that he's getting right now. I love that.
Hmm.
Um, because what's hurt us the most, in the playoffs over the last 2 years, it's been depth. So there, we have depth, and not only do we have it, but we're refining it by getting these guys reps right now. Trey
Yep.
White, I mean, the reports are Trey White looks good. They're saying he looks like he's back to his old self. Now, I don't know what old self they're talking about yet. We got to see it in training camp. But if his old self is 2023 Trey White, week 1 through week 4, sign me up for that all
We're
day.
good.
Um,
Especially as a number two. Especially,
right. If
Mhm.
it's end of year 2022 Trey White, I don't know if I want.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like, cool,
Or
you know,
LA Rams, Trey
that's
White,
fine. I'll take 2022 end of the year Trey White as the depth guy. But if he's 2023 Trey White, yeah, young guys grab a seat because you're gonna be backing up the old guy because he was
Yep.
he was he was playing at all pro, like he was playing at a first team all pro level
Hmm.
the first 4
Yep.
weeks of 2023. Like, go back
Absolutely.
and watch it. The Jets game, the Raiders, the Commanders, and in Miami, and then obviously he got hurt in the Miami game, but he was locked
Hmm.
down. Offensively, yes, there's a lot being made of Palmer, but with Cook showing up, it's great. But those are less reps now for Ray Davis, which you know whatever. Um, Palmer and uh, Elijah Moore. I don't know what to make of it yet. They're speaking. They're being spoken of very highly from the coaching staff, but it's the coaching staff, right? It's the media. They're going to speak highly of these guys anyway. But when you look at the player that Elijah Moore was coming out of college, coming out of Ole Miss, and realizing that never really got to see that player fully develop because of the quarterbacks that he's played with. Now playing with Josh Allen, this is what is most impressive that I hear when it comes to Joshua Palmer. Um, okay. Matt with a hot take. I don't see that, Matt, and I'm gonna explain why. Um, so with Joshua Palmer, you see 6'2", 200-pound frame,
Hmm.
and the connection with Josh seems to be seamless. So coming from playing with Justin Herbert to now another big, tall, strong arm quarterback who can move, uh, he's he's fine, which is what I was most worried about because I think Palmer is going to be very important for third downs. Um,
Yep.
Keon is visibly bigger, visibly a better route runner, and um, I think that matters as well. And I don't think that Keon needed to necessarily bulk up to play. I think he needed to bulk up in order to stay healthy. So now he's going to be more physically able to kind of take those big hits and things like that. Lived in SDC territory and level miss. Elijah Moore has the number one wide receiver quality. He's
Hmm.
hungry to show. Absolutely. That's the thing that when they talk about Elijah Moore, one thing I
Hmm.
noticed that it keeps coming up from different people. Elijah Moore looks happy. He looks he looks happy. He looks so content. He looks like he's excited. Looks like I mean, you watch his practice reps, he's running extremely hard in those reps. He is going to be ready for week one. He is going
Yep.
to be ready, and I don't think he's going to be wide receiver 3. I think he's going to be wide receiver 4 because Palmer, Coleman, Shakir are your top 3 guys. But I think I think he's going to make it difficult for Joe Brady to keep him off the field. I think he's going to be difficult. Well, I think this. So what I wanted to see last year that we never really got to see was a lot more spread throughout the year.
Hmm.
Allow
Yep.
Josh to throw the ball downfield. Allow Josh to kind of uncork it sometimes. Yes, we want to run the ball. We want to get a lead. We want to, we want to control the pace of the game. However, we need that deep ball. We need to be able to attack the third level. Joshua Palmer's a guy that can do that. Elijah Moore's a guy that can do that.
Yep.
Shakir's a guy that can do that. Knox is a guy that can do that. And we have other guys, Coleman, Kincaid, Samuels, another guy that can attack the third level. But those guys are better working through drag routes, hitch routes,
Hmm.
intermediate and shallow digs, curls, quick outs, speed outs, things like that. All of those different things um, complement each other and complement the run game. So if we can spread the ball a lot
Hmm.
more with spread sets with those wide receivers, um, what does that mean at the line of scrimmage? Light boxes. Light boxes, you give a guy like James Cook the opportunity to hand the football off to him, makes a guy miss. It's a
Yep.
big game. Same thing with Ty Johnson, who's an excellent athlete. Makes a guy miss or outruns a guy to a spot, it's over with. It's a big game. And not only are we practicing, or not only are we controlling the pace of the game and controlling the clock and controlling the tempo. We're also hurting teams with chunk plays. So yeah, I mean that's an unstoppable offense.
Yep. And the other thing is, I mean, just having a guy like Elijah Moore in his team little, I mean, you know, not to speak anything to existence, but let's say Khalil Shakir's out 2 weeks, right? A lot of other teams may be devastated by that. I feel like, okay, I feel like McDermott and Joe Brady have to be thinking, wow, we have Elijah Moore sitting there as our number 4, or even a Curtis Samuel. I mean, what a luxury that is for an offensive coordinator. Like, of course, losing Shakir hurts, but I don't think it's going to be a sky is falling kind of thing. Let's say it's week 3 and Shakir's out a week. I don't. I feel like Elijah could absolutely step in and really eat with this offense. I mean, that comes back to what we talked about last week, the depth on this team. And you just went through some of these guys on offense. I mean, it's just I can't recall a time that I've ever felt so content about the depth in just about everywhere on this roster right now.
Yeah, I just, bro, when I look at this roster and I want to compare it to last year. Oh wow. So last year we had one of the worst wide receiver rooms in the NFL from the
We did.
standpoint of production. Um, Also from when you talk about separation, uh, winning against man coverage, things like that. Like it wasn't great. Um, we scored 30 points a game last year. We had the second highest rated offense in the NFL. The wide receiver room is better. The offensive line, we're returning everybody.
Hmm.
Josh last year was engaged Josh, and he won the MVP. Marry Josh is here now. Marry Josh may win more than just an individual MVP this year.
Hmm.
The running back room is here. The tight ends are back, with the exception of Quentin Morris, aka what do they call him? Who cares? Quentin Morris is no longer here.
But
What's the rookie that we Jackson Halls, who
yeah,
we drafted him to be a blocking tight end. The guy's catching everything, making athletic catches, and he's still a big monster who can
yep,
block effectively in the run game. So I the offense got better without like major investments in
yeah.
free
Just I mean,
agency.
Joshua Palmer was a solid investment, right? It wasn't
Yep,
a financial changing.
$12 million.
In this
12.
day and age, that's like the old five. That's like years ago's 5 million. That's how far it's escalated.
This and what we so I was talking to some people about roster construction earlier this week, and we were talking about, well, what would you rather have a elite level wide receiver, or would you rather have um an elite level tight end or an elite level slot? And I said to myself, I want an elite level slot, and I think we
Yeah,
have one in Shakir. I think Shakir's your borderline elite.
yeah.
Um, but for the price of like, what's a wide receiver, a top level wide receiver one going for now? $35 million a
30,
year,
35, at least 30,
right?
high
So,
20s. Yeah.
so let's just say 35
Hmm.
because I think Jefferson just got 40, or one of
Close
those
to it.
guys
Yeah.
got
Or Chase,
40,
right?
close
Jamar
to it,
Chase. Hmm.
right? So what can you get for the same amount of money? If you're paying an elite level slot like $14 million, that's what we got Shakir for. 14.
Hmm.
What about a tight end? Like you can get a really good tight end for like 10 to 12 million. You're only at 26. You still got
Yep.
$14 million to go. Like, go get me a deep threat on the outside. I can pay him $6 million a year, and go get me a possession guy. I can pay him 8. I built
Hmm.
a wide receiver. I built 11 personnel. Right. I built all the skill positions outside of running back and 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, a tight end for the price of one elite level wide receiver, a number one X guy.
Hmm.
Why would I choose different? You choose different when you don't have an elite quarterback. We have an
Yep.
elite quarterback. So
We
the
do.
elite quarterback is going to make the other guys better. I'm
Yep.
going to save that money. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And that's so the Bills need to get a wide receiver crowd. We scored 30 a game last year with
Yeah.
worse weapons than what we have now. I mean, we love Matt Collins, but Matt Collins is not as good as Joshua Palmer at playing wide
No.
receiver. So, what's up, Bruce?
There he is, Bruce.
Bro, I want somebody to come on here and see him in the comments and think like, "Yo, they got Bruce Smith watching their pod."
Yeah.
Yes, it's the Bruce
And,
Smith, Buffalo Bills
uh,
legend. How you doing? What's up, man? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? We still got people coming in. Um,
yep. What's up,
but yeah,
716 as well? And we got Bruce Smith. Want to give you guys a shout out here on the screens. And great to see you all here as always. Much appreciated.
absolutely. So you know, I think for what we have and where we are in the cap and all the guys that we're paying, I gotta say, man, I feel like Brandon Bean has done an excellent job.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, and that's
And
the yeah, that's the
go
thing,
ahead.
Whittle. I mean, you want to get some A players, right? We remember even the Bills said they want, playmakers and game changers after we lost to Kansas City last year, right? But with
Yep.
the cap, what we have, we're trying to draft them, right? We're trying to draft some of these possible A guys. Maybe Deion Walker becomes an A player at some point. Maybe TJ Sanders becomes an A player. We don't know that yet. But in free agency, you can't just go out there with the limited resources we have and sign those guys. So being made the other best option. Let's look at every spot in our roster and let's make sure everything. I mean, the depth is out of sight, right? And that's what we've talked about. And I think that was you have two choices. Okay, let's say we did sign a premier free agent, leaves a lot of holes in some other places. Would you rather do that, Whittle, or would you rather go the direction that we've gone in terms of like
Wow.
what Steve said here about how we have a lot of B players, which there's nothing wrong with B players. There's B players are excellent, and B players aren't as common as people think they are either. There's a lot of C players, there's a lot of D's and a lot of F's that we don't. Again, relative in terms of NFL experience here, right? So yeah, there's nothing wrong with how the Bills are building this roster.
Yeah, we this is the best. I think this is the best roster we've had under Sean McDermott for sure.
Agreed. Yep.
2021 was really good, but I think from a depth standpoint, I think this team is better.
We were more
Um,
explosive and quote sexy then, right? We had a
no,
bigger,
that
more
20
explosive roster, in terms of the offense. I mean,
that 21 team. Oh my God,
yeah,
that was
that was it.
that was the one, man. 13 seconds screwed us. That was the one. That was the one
Yeah,
team I
that's it.
felt like they get to the bowl, they're winning that. They're winning it.
Hmm.
It's not
Yep.
like it's a guarantee. But even though they didn't, let me go on a quick little rant. Bills
Got
Mafia,
it.
stop saying Sean McDermott needs to go. Okay,
Thank you.
stop.
Thank you.
Just stop it. Uh, and I know a lot of you will disagree, um, but you're wrong. And let me explain to you why. Oh, God brought this on, Sam. Honestly, I see the Bills get it. I get like a lot of times. I just be on. I'll send it to you. I'll send you. I'll send it to you where I got it from. I
Hmm.
think it might have been fanatics.com or something like that. One of the not Buffalo Fanatics, but just
Yeah,
like the
look at
yeah.
that hat. I don't think I've ever seen one like that, Whittle. Where'd you picking up that hat?
Yeah, it's cool, right? Oh, thank you, man. I
Hmm.
appreciate it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
styling.
Little
Look at
new
this.
drip. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
there you go. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I gotta up my game here. I
got a
gotta get
little
some more
bill
stuff.
sign right there on the side.
There you
All right,
go. There you go.
but all right, cool. But real quick, like we got to stop blaming Sean McDermott for everything.
Yes.
2020, that team wasn't good enough. I'm sorry. That Kansas City Chiefs team was better. It just was
Yeah.
better.
100%. Yeah.
2019, I mean, did you see what Josh Allen was doing in that game against Houston? He was a wild, crazy man. So,
Hmm.
um, but 2021, that's where if you want to plant your flag and say, this is where McDermott screwed up. Cool, got you. Got a
Hmm.
swift kick there. That didn't happen. Uh, more DBs on the field. Um, less defensive linemen would have made a lot of sense because then you could have played more of a cloud coverage and just kind of like have guys face guard, or you send heat off the edge with the corners. Like that's fine. I whatever. But there were so many other ways to defend that last 13 seconds, and every single way that they did was incorrect. Fine. The head coach has got to be blamed for that. 2022, Sean McDermott was not the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator was Ken Dorsey. The first play from scrimmage in the 2022 divisional playoff game in Buffalo against the Cincinnati Bengals was our first offensive possession was out of 11 personnel in the gun.
Hmm.
Why? There's snow on the ground, bro. Made no sense. Guys lining up 7 yards off of the receivers when it's
Hmm.
3rd and 3. That is not a McDermott staple. Like, I know people want to blame McDermott for it. It's not. You know how I know? Because in 2023, when Leslie Frazier left and Sean McDermott started calling the defense, that was the most aggressive we've seen that defense under his entire tenure.
Hmm.
That's why I know that that's not McDermott.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, to aggressive to a funnel because in Denver he ran like Gerald Blitz like 2 plays in a row and it ended up burning us the second time late in the game. They ended up getting a
Hmm.
first down. But again, we cannot blame Sean McDermott for 2022. I not Let me not say that. You can't give him the majority of the blame. Is he part of? Is he? Does he get some blame? Of course he does. He's the head coach, but it's not his fault that Trey White was just coming back from an ACL and he wasn't really good. It's not his fault that we were missing uh Daquan Jones. We were missing Von Miller. We were
Hmm.
missing uh I want to say Micah Hyde. I think we missed Micah Hyde in that
We
game.
did.
Like there were a
Yes, we did.
bunch of guys on the defensive side of the football that were missing.
Hmm.
So like I'm almost to the point where it's like I don't understand what Bills fans want from Sean McDermott because you don't give him the credit when the defense is playing out of their mind and they're holding teams, and we're smoking teams. You don't give him the credit for that. When the offense goes crazy, you give all of the credit to the players and to the OC. But when the things get screwed up, you blame McDermott. 2023 divisional playoff game against the Chiefs. Josh Allen fails to throw the drag route to Stephon Diggs. How was that McDermott's fault?
Yeah,
Josh
they're.
chose to go to Shakir.
Yep.
How are we blaming Sean McDermott for Dawson Knox dropping the football on 3rd down right after halftime
Hmm.
to extend the drive? How are we blaming Sean McDermott for Trent Sherfield dropping the football on 2 pivotal plays in the second half? How are we blaming him for that? How are we blaming him for Diggs dropping that football? We're blaming him for the trick play with DeMar Hamlin, the fake punt, cool. But then you got to give him credit for Jordan Poyer punching that ball out. Because where do you think he learned that? That's a that's a
Yep.
that's a staple of the McDermott defensive backs. Whenever you see a forced fumble, it's a punch out. That peanut punch is part of how these guys get trained. So
Hmm.
Poyer does it.
100%.
Micah Hyde did it. Christian Benford's great at it. Terry Johnson's probably elite at it. Like all of those guys do it.
Yep.
Why? They all play for the same team. They've all played under McDermott. That's why they're doing it. So stop giving him the blame when you won't give him the credit for the following big time play that these guys were coached up to do is second nature now.
Yep.
Um,
Unfortunately, it
2024,
comes with the territory, though, too, Whittle.
right?
Right? It's making the Super Bowl would. I know we want to win, right? But even look, you even look at the Bengals, right? The Bengals are still living off that one Super Bowl appearance, right? And they've lost Super Bowls before too. So what I mean is, when we hear Bengals fans come in our spaces, they talk about that Super Bowl. If you look at all these great things we've seen in the AFC, the Bills just haven't. I think America has been ready to embrace Buffalo as that team for about
Yep.
3 or 4 years now, and we're so razor close, and we're just and it's just going to fall on McDermott. They're going to look at around, say they know Josh is playing his greatest, Patrick Mahomes. Although you and I on this podcast have been correctly, and I'll give you a lot of credit for this. It's okay to criticize Josh Allen, even with his great gaudy numbers in the playoffs. There are plays he left on the field last year. There are plays that he left on the field in 23. It's okay to say that. It doesn't mean we think less of Josh. You just got to call it like it is, and that's comes with the territory of him being the highest paid player in the league and an MVP. So that's just how it works. So until Sean McDermott gets to that Super Bowl, obviously winning it would be huge. I think unfortunately we're just going to hear this from some naysayers even in our fan base.
And this is the thing about this past year, 2024. Josh Allen was terrible in the first quarter. Like he was terrible in the first quarter of that Chiefs game. Terrible. Um, then when Josh settled down, fourth quarter, fourth down, even though I think we got robbed a couple of times during that game on some spots and some different plays, uh, Josh slides the protection to his left. The blitz came from the right. He mints a play, gets free, throws a ball downfield accurately to Dalton Kincaid, who drops the football. You can't blame McDermott for that. So I want the conversation. I would like for the conversation to change. If you just
Mm-hmm.
want to see McDermott go, you want to make a change for the sake of making a change, fine. Then just say that. But don't
Mm-hmm.
say McDermott keeps failing his team in the playoffs when it's not true. It's like saying Josh Allen's failing his team in the playoffs. That's not true.
Yep.
If I don't know, like if you can complain about the defense being bad in the playoffs, sure. How much of that is on Sean McDermott? We're losing by 3 points, and oftentimes we're missing three of our top players on the defensive side of the football. Last year, we were missing Christian Benford. Terrence Johnson was playing with a shoulder injury. Matt Milano wasn't himself, obviously, because of what he coming back from his injury.
Yep.
But like we're still playing these guys, and outside of that, DeMar Hamlin starts, Kyer Elam starts. Russell Douglas was not great last year. Outside of Taryn and Christian Benford, everybody had a terrible, like everybody else was poor in coverage. Everybody else in the secondary, poor in
Mm-hmm.
coverage. Period. What do you want? We lost by 3. We should have blown out.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills should have got blown. Like the fact that we're still competing in these games and have a chance to win it, it's mind-boggling to me. And it's not just because Josh Allen. Sean McDermott is taking the spam of the roster on defense and turning it into a 4-star meal.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want from a head? What else do you want from a coach? I don't get
Yep.
it. But again, the conversation just needs to be honest, and I feel like it hasn't. But outside of
100%.
that, man, I mean, we're in for a big year, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think this is the year we get it done.
Yep. We're definitely going to get into some more detailed predictions as we move into August, and we'll come up with some graphics so we could go back and everybody could we'll do divisions. We could do we're gonna do all kinds of great stuff this year. So
Yeah.
well, that's yep, and I agree with Bruce Smith. I mean, it's all about what he does in those critical moments. I mean, we're at that point now in Josh Allen's you know legacy, whatever you want to call it, right? This is where he is. I mean, we don't have to worry. He's not looking to prove himself in October right now. That's not where we're at with in this grand scheme of Josh's career right now. So, and I agree with Tina too. So, McDermott does get the most out of what he's had in front of him, and that's why I appreciate Brandon Bean. I think he's given McDermott some more arsenal to work with this season in terms of our defense. So, and I agree, Bruce. I'm feeling this too, but of course we have a couple months till then. But hey, come next week, Whittle, we're past mid-June. We're getting closer and closer to July. Maybe a little time, July 4th week, I'll settle down a little bit. We'll come back, and then it's almost time for training camp. You can almost smell it, Whittle, right? It seems so far away, but it's so close. So, and then again,
68.
yep, more months. And just everyone out there, if you could like and subscribe and go to Do Champions, like subscribe. We have some great shows on our network, and also subscribe to Coast to Coast as well. We appreciate all of the support that we do get all the time. And Whittle, that is all I had on this great Wednesday.
I
As
got
I
one more
know,
thing.
you got
One
one
more
more?
thing. Yep.
Sure.
Uh, January 22nd, I believe,
Okay. All right.
is the bocce tournament in Buffalo. That's going to be hosted by our own student body, right? Uh,
Nice.
he will be there. Clearly, I'm sure Matt will be there as well. Matt, you're going to be there,
Yep.
right? Yes, Matt's going to be there.
Yep. Oh, June
Yeah, June
22nd.
22nd.
So,
Yep.
okay. Did I say January
Um,
22nd? I'm sorry. That may have been me. I'm not sure if I did
okay.
that, but
Yeah, June
Mhm.
22nd. Uh, bocce tournament. Matt, if you have an address or something like that, can you post it? I will be there. I think that's Father's Day weekend. No, this weekend's Father's Day weekend, right?
Oh, hmm,
Yeah, this weekend is.
that's
So, yeah, my daughter is graduating from high school on the 20th. I will be driving up to Buffalo on the 21st so that I can be there for the tournament
hmm,
on the 22nd. So
yep.
okay, so Soul Beach Bar, wherever that is, I guess you guys, yeah, go Google it. Like you guys got smartphones, go ahead Google that.
Just
That's
ask
where you need
Rock.
to
Yeah.
be.
Just ask ChatGPT or something, right? I mean, that's what we're getting, right? So,
Soul Beach Bar, the 22nd. So if you want to meet me, I'll be there. We can
excellent.
shake hands, take a picture, have a drink of water, have a drink of something stronger, or if you just want to tell me that I'm a terrible person and you hate my guts, I'll be there to hear it.
Is that also called the Soul Sandbar? Is that correct, Matt? Because I was just looking, Soleil Sandbar, as I'm seeing. I think this is what I'm showing here
Yeah,
for
okay.
that. So, if just to put that out there for anyone, if they want to see Whittle, come on and see
Yeah,
Matt and see the crew. There
but
we
there'll be a
go.
bunch. Yeah, a bunch of
Hmm.
the people that do champions will be there. Um,
Hmm.
so please come out support, man. It's a charity event.
Yep.
Come out there, have some fun with us, and
Hmm.
yeah, and that's all I
Yep.
got, man.
Well, I got one more thing. I want to wish
Okay.
all our dads, especially you, Whittle, happy advanced Father's Day to you. Enjoy your weekend, well deserved, and congratulations to your daughter on her graduation in advance as well.
Thank
So
you,
good,
thank you.
all good stuff that we're hearing. So, and again, that's all I really had as well. Thank you, everyone. Another great attendance today. It's been a great month, and we're getting closer and closer. Go Bills! Yes, Tom. Great to see you here as well, and thank you to everyone in our group chat as well. We were global. This time is, again, I won't bring up one of the names that we saw here, but it just made me laugh and chuckle. But I'll just leave it alone. But all I gotta say is go Bills, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place.
Go Bills.